Hi, and welcome back to another car conversation. Happy Winning Wednesday to each and every one of you. It is my hope and prayer that today has been a great day for you, because it certainly has been for me, just for the simple fact that we woke up this morning, okay? Now, let's jump into this video, because I got someplace to be in about 25 minutes. Tomorrow is Communion Sunday at Metropolitan Baptist Church. Make sure you come on by and see us. So, as a deacon, yes, I said an ordained deacon. I did not say deaconess. I didn't say elder. I said a deacon. One of my responsibilities is to help assist with communion prep. So we're going to go get everything set up today. That way we are ready for Sunday. Now, it is 89 degrees. Although it's a nice little breeze outside, it's still kind of hot. So that's why I have the air blowing. So if you hear the fan, that's why. Now, let's jump into today's topic. Today, I'm going to be sharing how to change your life and start over. If you watched Monday's video, which I'm hoping that you did, I talked about signs that it may be time to start making a change. And I told you that today we'd be talking about how to do that. So starting over in life doesn't mean you've lost everything that you've learned, gained, and or experienced. Your experiences have gotten you where you are today. And because of these experiences, you are wiser now than you were yesterday, last week, last month, and last year. So as you look to start over, here's some things that you need to do. Number one, start with reflection. I have 7 things, y'all. Start with reflection. In order to make changes, you must first understand where you are right now. Find a quiet space to sit and examine yourself and your life. Then pull out your journal and write down what your thoughts are. I love to journal. If you know me, then you know. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I love to journal. And I think it is always an awesome thing that you can write things in your journal that you may not be able to talk about out loud for whatever reason. Doesn't have to be anything bad, but just, sometimes it's just easy. I know for me, I'm always writing stuff down, but you cannot change if you're not sure where you are right now. So in order to make that change, you've got to assess where you are right now in this moment as you're watching or listening to this video, okay? Number 2, examine your value system. As you have changed over the years, so have your values. Maybe not all of them, but a few of them have. You have left some behind, and you've picked up some new ones. That's why now is the perfect time for you to determine what things are important to you at this stage in your life. Now, some of your values should not change, okay? And those should be your work ethic. They should be how you treat people, how you love on others, and the list can go on and on, but you get where I'm going with this. Some of those values should not change, but there are other values in your life that have changed since you've changed. You can't change and your values stay the same. Well, let me not say that, because sometimes they can, depend on what they are. But for the most part, wherever you are in life right now, you need to take stock of your values and make sure that they are aligning up with the goals that you've set for yourself, okay? Number 3, revisit and rewrite your goals. So the goals that you made at the beginning of this year aren't etched in stone. Hear what I'm saying? And they can be changed if they no longer serve you or where you're headed. You may want to write down 3 goals at the start of each month that you want to accomplish. And these 3 goals should be small goals, because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. That will help you get to the big goal that you set at the beginning of the year. So as I've shared with you all before, at the beginning of the year, I set goals for myself. And so I set one big goal for the year, but every month I write down 3 main goals. I won't lie, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5, just depends. But at least 3 goals that I'm going to achieve for that month, just that month. Like for July, I had 3 goals for this month, and I have met and exceeded those goals, so I'm happy about that. But those goals still align with the big goal that I set for myself in January. Well, actually, it was the end of December, but to start for January. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have this big goal, but underneath each month, if you break that goal down, when you get to December, you can say, wow, I achieved everything and then some, just because I broke those goals down. Because here's what happens: when the goals get to be too big, we start to procrastinate. And we procrastinate out of fear and frustration sometimes because you think, wow, I've got all this stuff to do. How am I going to get it done? Well, if you break it down, then you don't have to get overwhelmed. Number 4, work up the courage to commit to change. So when you decide to change, it's not an easy thing to do. Once you know your values, your goals, and where you're starting from, it's time to map out your next move. And this step is more about your mindset and a change in your perspective. This is where positive self-talk and encouragement come in handy. You have the tools to make any change you want, but it will take action, not just thoughts. And that's the key takeaway. You can come up with all the thoughts that you want. You can write down all of your goals in beautiful colored ink and glitter and all that other good stuff. You can find the best pictures to put on your vision board, but if you don't actually do the work, that would all have been for that's just a waste of time. You've got to do the work. And that is the problem. Too many people have all of these ideas and they're excited about them, but they don't put any action behind it. And then you wonder why you're still in the same place now that you were last year, because you never took the action. You came up with some great ideas, but you never did anything with them. Number 5, make your next move. I think I left out a word here, but anyway, so you've done all of the pre-work. So now it's time to put it into action. Keep in mind, the smallest changes can start building into bigger changes that will help you start over in life. And again, I talked about starting small. If you try to, let's say you bought a pizza, and in my mind's eye, I see a large pizza, right? And you look at that pizza and you go, wow, I've got to eat all of this because I don't want it to go to waste. And you get overwhelmed, right? Well, how are you going to eat that pizza? I tell you how you're going to do it. You're going to eat it one slice at a time, right? One slice at a time. Maybe you have 2 slices for breakfast. You get 2 slices for lunch, another 2 slices for dinner, and then you probably have 2 more left for a snack. Either way, you've consumed that big pizza, but you did it in small increments. And that is the key. Number 7, last but not least, keep checking in on yourself. As with any new path in life, there are going to be some ups and downs. Life is never a straight path. If you fail, it's okay. Just get back up and start over again. Make sure you practice self-care and self-compassion. But above all else, be kind and gentle with yourself. I cannot tell you, as a coach, how often I have to remind clients to be kind to yourself. And they start to break down when they begin the negative self-talk. Well, I don't know why you decided to do this. That was a big undertaking. What made you think you can do this? Well, what makes you think you can't? So you've got to be patient with yourself, and you've got to be kind to yourself. And this is where affirmations definitely come into play. You have got to practice positive self-talk. I don't ever want to hear you call yourself stupid. I don't ever want to hear you call yourself anything that's negative or derogatory, because you are none of those things. You're saying those things in the moment because you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you're angry, and I get that. But that is no reason to talk down to yourself. No reason at all. Always, always, always practice patience and positivity. That is what's going to get you to where you want to be. Because if every time something didn't go right, and I started the negative self-talk, I would never accomplish anything. Which, by the way, you guys, I am super excited because I uploaded my latest journal to KDP, just waiting for the thumbs up and for it to go live. And of course, I'll tell you guys about it. But it's called the Esther Year. It's a 60-day guided journal. I am so excited about that project, you guys, because that project is huge. Yes, I created a guided journal, but there's also going to be, I'm working on a subscription box that will start I'm going to do a workshop in January, and I'll create a group where you can be a part of that group. Now, the workshop will cost a fee. I'm not even gonna lie about that, but there will be a fee for that. But we'll have a group where every month we're gonna meet as we enter into our Esther year. And if you're not quite sure what that is, just look it up. And if not, we'll talk more about that as the year goes on. But I'm super excited about it because I put together, well, I should say I'm working on a subscription box, a monthly newsletter, and we'll have a monthly check-in. 9 times out of 10, it'll probably be by Zoom. You know, I'm thinking it'll be by Zoom, but we'll work all of that out. And I'm just super, super excited about where God has taken me in this stage of my life, in this season of my life. And so this is how I want you to be as you make your change. Get excited about it. This is great stuff. This is new. And I know some of you thinking, yeah, but Michelle, but you asking me to step outside the box. Okay, and what did I tell you? You can't achieve too much as long as you stay in that box because you're stuck. In order for me to go to the grocery store, I can drive, but I've got to get outside of this truck. Otherwise, I'm at the grocery store sitting in the car and I'm not getting my groceries. Come on, somebody. I can want things in life, but if I'm not willing to pray about it, I can't just expect God to give me stuff and that I haven't even gone to him about. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in order to a relationship, if you want your relationship to work, you've got to put in the work. You can't say, well, I want this great relationship, but you're not willing to work towards having a great relationship. So you've got to do the work. And in order to do that, you've got to step outside of your comfort zone. You've got to do something that is going to be big. Because here's the other thing. I don't want you all dreaming small or thinking small. I want you to think big. Dream big. And my Esther year project is going to be big. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm so excited about it, and I just cannot wait to share it with you all. So having said that, y'all, let me get up out of here because I need to get to church. Luckily, I'm only about 15 minutes away, and we weren't meeting until 5:30, but I saw Tony's text saying he was there early. So anyway, I'm going to get on out of here so I can get where I need to be, and hopefully something I said today resonates with you. If you didn't watch Monday's video, go back and watch that one because I did talk about signs that it's time to change. And today I shared with you how to make that change. So I wasn't going to just leave you hanging telling you that you might need to change. I gave you the steps, right? So check out both videos. And like I said, hopefully something I said resonates with you as you begin this new season in your life, in our lives. Because guess what? We're in the second half of the year. We are in the second half of 2025. I know it seems hard to believe, but we are. And so we're in a new season. Every month you're in a new season of your life. Well, the second half of the year is a new season, and I want us all to win. I want us to end on a strong note, and it's not too late. So if you didn't set goals in January, maybe you didn't do it in February, March, April, May, or June, that's fine. You can start now and still end on a positive note. Having said that, thank you all so much for giving me just a little bit of your time to speak life into you, to encourage you, and to motivate you to be the best you possible. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I do car conversations, i.e. I'm sitting in my truck, and car conversation sounds better than truck conversations. So I do these 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can catch me on TikTok, where I do a motivational moment every Monday and every Friday. Thought about adding a Wednesday, but for right now we're going to keep it Monday and Friday. And I'm getting back into doing podcasts because I truly, truly miss doing my podcasts. I'm on Swell, as well as, I can't think of the other platform that I'm actively on, but everything's in the description box. And if this is not your first rodeo, welcome back. Y'all know I miss you when I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your evening, no matter what you do or where you go. Have fun, but be safe. Because y'all know I love you. I love you to the moon and back, and there's nothing that you can ever do to change that, because I love you and I want nothing but the best for you. Now, having said all of that, continue to pray for me as I continue to pray for you, and watch God change things. Love you all. We'll talk again on Friday.